some more, so.
You all set?
You should be good to go, Mr. Chairman.
All set?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the TPZ meeting of 12 June 2024 to order. Please rise. Salute the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Roll call of Maureen, please.
Commissioner Clappy. Commissioner Fox.
Here.
Commissioner Minor.
Here.
Commissioner Nafis.
Here.
Commissioner Pascarelli.
Here.
Chairman Sobieski.
Here.
Commissioner Woods. Commissioner Droz. Commissioner Hoffman.
Here.
Commissioner Wakama.
Here.
Okay, I'd like to seat Commissioner Hoffman for Commissioner Woods, and I'd like to seat Commissioner Coma for Commissioner Droz. Commissioner Clappy, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Approval of the agenda, Mr. Planner.
Yep, so there are no changes to the agenda, but I will report on another application that has been received. So that's a special permit for a place of assembly for recreation for an indoor trampoline park at 175 Lowry Place. So again, we received that application. It's under review, but it counts as statutorily received by this date.
Okay, thank you. All right, public participation for items not listed on the agenda. Limited 2 minutes. Eric, anybody online?
No one online, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Zoning officers report, Eric.
So you have the report before you. Busy in May. May is always busy, especially with blight, but also the zoning as well. If there's any questions, I can certainly
Any questions?
comment or review.
Any questions, commissioners? Thank you. The zoning officers report. I've got remarks by commissioners. Any commissioners have any remarks? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, public hearing. You want to read this year? You want? Oh, we got to read rules.
So we
Read
did the rules,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Did you put them in there?
Or usually they're.
They did not.
If we're getting.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't have my own copy. Okay, procedures for public hearings. The order of proceedings at public hearings shall be as follows. A, convening by chairperson. B, reading of the notice by the commission secretary or a commissioner designated by the chairperson to act in their stead. C, presentation by applicant. D, town planner report on the application. E, persons wishing to speak in favor of the application, limited to 3 minutes per person. F, persons wishing to speak in opposition to the application, limited to 3 minutes per person. G, rebuttal by the applicant, limited to 5 minutes total. During a public hearing, it shall be within the discretion of the chairperson whether the time limitations should be varied slightly, provided the commission consents to any such variance by a majority vote.
All right, and if the secretary doesn't mind, I'll read the public hearing notice that went into the. Sure. So it's Newington Town Plan and Zoning Commission, notice of public hearing, June 12th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Notice is hereby given that the Newington Town Plan and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing in the council chambers, room 103 at Town Hall, 200 Garfield Street in Newington, Connecticut on Wednesday, June 12th, 2024 to consider the following petitions. Petition 24-9, special permit, section 3.4.4 for a home occupation as a personal trainer at 303 Walsh Ave in the R12 zone, residential zone. Owners William Ratcliffe and Danielle Lashensky. Applicant contact Danielle Lashensky. This public hearing will be a Zoom webinar hybrid meeting. Information on how to attend will be posted on the town website at the link follows. These petitions and related materials are available for public inspection at the town planner's office, Town Hall, room 204, and through the public's agenda at the Town Plan and Zoning Commission Agenda Center. Link follows. Persons who require an accommodation to participate in this public hearing should contact the town planner at 860-665-8578 or email follows not less than 24 hours before the public hearing. Signed, Paul Dixon, Town Planner. It ran in the rare reminder, May 30th and June 6th.
Thank you, Mr. Planner.
And the sign was posted.
Okay. Is the applicant here? Please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Yep.
Danielle Ashinsky, and the address is 303 Walsh Ave,
Okay.
Newington. Was there something?
I'm
sorry.
explain what you're going to be doing.
Okay. So my husband and I are looking to open up a little gym. We have a 2.5 car detached garage in our house, and we're just looking to do a little bit of personal training, a little bit of small group fitness.
Would you speak into the microphone a little louder, please? Thank
You
you.
can pull it up if you need to, the closer.
That's
whole
perfect.
base
The whole base moves.
The whole
forward.
base.
It's heavy.
Thank
There
you.
Okay. That's it.
Yep.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Fox.
Thank you, to the chairman. With that smile, you're gonna have a lot of customers staying. You're gonna, your personal training, are you going to have groups and individual or individual?
Yeah, so it'll be individuals, and then the groups will be 2 to 3 people max.
All right, so you really won't have any more than 2 or 3 cars in the yard.
Correct.
But the photo on here makes it look like it's a, drive-in theater.
It's a really long driveway.
It's a long driveway, I just passed by, so. Now that's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Okay, we're gonna open up to the general public, see if anybody wishes to speak for the application. Okay? Anybody here wishing to speak for this application? Anybody online here?
No one online, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Yes, Gail? Yes, come up here, please.
Yeah. Danielle, you can have a seat and she can take the
Yeah,
mic.
we'll have a seat. Gail's coming up.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, is there gonna be signage in the front yard?
Yeah, you gotta,
Oh, sorry, Gilbert Draco, 21 Isabel Terrace, Newington.
right up from last night's meeting.
Believe, don't get me started, Stan. I think this is great, and it seems like a perfect, home occupation.
Gail, excuse me, you need to have your name and address,
Oh,
please.
Gail
she did
Draco,
say it.
21 Isabel Terrace,
Sorry?
Newington. Gail Draco, 21 Isabel Terrace,
Thank you.
Newington. I just have a question about if there's going to be signage, because we had a home occupation in our neighborhood and the sign, it was, taken down, but it was kind of obtrusive. So just that question. And just curious, I'm assuming the abutting neighbors have been notified. I'm assuming, but anyways, I hope it goes through and wish you good luck and leave your card. I might be a client. Thank you.
Yes,
There you
so we're all aware that we did do a certificate of mailing, so all the abutters were notified.
Right.
Of the public hearing.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Nobody online, Eric?
No one online, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any questions from the commission on this? Okay. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to add, so staff did review the application.
Right.
The main question noted for the commission was, again, home occupations they vary from different intensities. You have home occupations that are office uses. Again, this home occupation, from staff's point of view, we looked at it, we didn't see it in conflict. However, it is always a question for the commission to regarding, what level is a home occupation. 2 or 3 people might be okay. Looking at that, there is a significant amount of parking within the driveway. The CEO, Mr. Hinckley, did look at the application materials provided and did find that they met the criteria for the home occupation. So it does meet the criteria. So the main question that staff posed is, questions on, is there a limit that the commission wants to put on amount of group that there can be there? Because it is noted that the home occupation should take place within a structure. It's not, outside on that one. I had a question about that with personal training, and we did talk to the applicant. They said they did plan to keep it within the garage. And then from there, the other question is duration of the permit. So we do have a duration. You can give a 1, 2, or 3-year permit for a home occupation per our regulations. The way that it's written in front of you right now on your suggested motions is 1 year. However, if the commission feels that you want to grant it for a longer period of time, that is your prerogative. That is your option to do so. Again, that is a commission thing to look at. So those are the two main items that staff want to put forward to the commission is A, duration of the permit and coming back to get a renewal. And then B, is there any requirements that you would like to put on size of groups?
All right, any commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Hoffman.
Yeah, I kind of go along with the 3-year, only because as we've seen in the past, something can happen, such as COVID. And if she has to shut down because of lack of people coming in, she still has 2 more years after that particular occurrence to still be able to work and provide, the assistance to people who would like to have it. So I would say it's okay, but I'd go with the 3-year.
Yep, and I'll just provide the staff clarification if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the duration really isn't just the permit lasts for 3 years. It's how often they have to come back in front of this commission and ask for renewal.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Nafis?
Yeah, I'm just curious. I've never been to a personal trainer. I mean, how much room does it take for one person and how many can you fit in this basically 20 by 20 space you have? Please.
Hi. So the space required per person is not a lot. We have one essentially rack. It is 3 feet by 3 feet. So at any given time, I would assume that one person would take up no more than 25 square feet.
Oh, okay. So you could fit quite a few more people in there.
Yeah, we could fit quite a few more. I think with one of us, either myself or my husband in there, we wouldn't want any more than 2 to 3.
Okay.
Commissioner Fox, does that answer your question?
Actually,
Commissioner Nafis?
talk about that. I was going to ask, what your maximum class usually is. You were just saying 2 or 3. No, that's good. And through the chairman to Paul, as far as longevity, Commissioner Hoffman suggested 3. That's fine with me, even more. But I often wondered, they wouldn't be coming back unless somebody really, the next door neighbor really had some big problem with them. Maybe the treadmill got a little noisy or something, or the weights banging on the concrete floor. Who knows? But I don't think so. But another question I have is, if let's say she and a partner are still in operation, came back after 3 years, 5 years, whatever we decide, and they sell. The permit would go with the applicant, not with the property.
Actually, so the permit would stay with the property. Yeah,
Would stay with the property.
correct.
Okay. That would be something that, we would want to kind of look into. I mean, let's say if you were selling the house, you sold it, people move in and everything, you talk about how you were doing this, and they start taking in clients, and we would know nothing about it.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, I'm sorry, Commissioner Walker.
Just in the next several years, do you have any intention to grow or expand the business in the location with additional trainers or employees?
No, not at this time.
I think if she wanted to go that route, she'd contact us and find a nice space in the center of town.
Like-
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'd actually like to add, so what I just said, to Commissioner Fox. So typically permits go with the property. Our regulations do say permits are not transferable. So that is in there. Now, whether that regulation is in that borderline gray area, typically special permits do stick with the property. However, we do have specific language in there. And there is also language that if it is a nuisance, that with due cause and due reason, that it can be brought back before the TPZ and revoked. So even if something happened, again, we're not anticipating anything happening. But if something did happen on that one, if we did receive a lot of complaints, that we would bring the owner back in front of the TPZ through a public hearing. And that's when the grievances would be aired and things discussed from there. So there are those safeguards that are built into the home occupation regulation.
I apologize for not reading it more thoroughly.
Okay,
Should
all
have read
set,
it more
Commissioner?
thoroughly, I guess.
You all set, Commissioner Fox?
I'm all set.
Okay.
You all
thank-
set?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Okay. Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the commission?
Like to move the item for old business.
Move and close it for all business. Okay. Is there a second?
Second,
Okay.
Fox.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll be voting on this tonight.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So just Commissioner Romano, I'll just say, yep, that was a motion to close the public hearing, as you said, and then move it to old business.
Right. Okay, next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of 8 May. Any motion?
I believe that's the 22nd of May.
Yeah.
No, she-
8 May.
The revised ones?
There's approval of minutes for meeting of,
Yep, and they are the minutes for 5/22.
sorry?
It's actually 22nd.
Yep. So
Okay.
that is a
Typo?
clerical typo. Yep, on
Okay.
that one. So the commission, again, these are minutes and this is acceptance.
All right.
They want to make a motion to amend.
I want to
the
make a motion
language.
to amend it to May
22nd.
22nd. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Abstain.
I'll go back now. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes on May 22nd, 2024. Is there a motion?
Somebody move.
I'll move it. Second,
Second.
second by Susan. All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
And yes, we have one abstention because Commissioner Fox was not here. Yes.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
the same, abstention for absence.
All right. And Commissioner Minor also. Thank you very much. Next is TPZ special minutes.
Yep. So the minutes from April 10th remain tabled. So item
Okay.
B remains tabled.
Those are gonna be tabled, okay? Next is under new business. You wanna read that, Gina, or you wanna read forward?
I think Gia, if you want
Okay.
mine. Commissioner
It's right
Pascarelli.
here. Sorry.
Okay. Petition TPZ 24-11 site plan modification at 80 Walsh Avenue for the construction of an ADA accessible lobby with an accessible lift with a request for commission approval of the utilization of Town Center Village Overlay District Special Provision, Section 3.12.A.5A, to reduce the front yard setback from 25 feet to 15 feet in the BTC Business Town Center Zone and Town Center Village Overlay District. Owner, Sequin Building Association, contact Clifford Stone.
Yeah. Is the applicant here? Mr. Stan, please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Clifford Stam or Chip Stam, 35 Judge Lane, Newington. And
Jim Bailey, 63 Middlebrook Road, Newington.
Thank you. Okay. Floor is yours.
basically, we're looking for an exemption we thought we had one in place from 2001. I was here 23 years ago and we applied for an exemption and got it for the northeast corner to be within 20 feet of the 25. And we thought we were all set. Well, now this is actually a little addition on the other side, and it's another jog of the building that's coming into that, which we found was not, you couldn't use the other exemption you had, the permanent easement. What we have here is we have an old a lift. Half of the foundation is already in the ground. It goes down 8 feet all the way for the shaft for the elevator. The elevator doesn't work. The reason was we had it outside and it was really an indoor elevator. So it lasted about 15 years and then we've had trouble for 10. Now it doesn't function at all. We're shut down on what kind of things we can do in the building. And all we're asking is to add another 10 by actually 7 foot hole in the front just to put a lobby around it and then enclose the whole thing. So currently our building at the northeast corner, apparently when we did all this work with Bon Giovanni and paid for all the site work, we found out that we lost 3 feet anyways because of a GIS coordination of the satellites. So we thought we were 12 feet from the building, but now we're only 9.6. So this is an area where there's an 85-foot street line here for the old trolley. And the center of the street is all the way on the other side. We got almost 50 feet in front of the building. There's other parking spaces. There's a sidewalk. Then it goes to the building line. So our building has always been, since it was built, over this 25-foot line. And we'd like to see if we can get this corner to be 15 like the overlay is, and it will be 18 at that specific point. The other point will remain to be 10 feet from the building line.
If I may, the Jim Bailey, the main reason we're looking for the extra space is so that we can have it enclosed. So if people are waiting to get on the lift, they're not standing out in the rain or the cold weather, things like that. So that's the reason that we're looking to get that extended out, that extra 7 feet. Thank you.
Any questions on commissioners? Okay. Yes, planner Dixon.
So, again, staff has been working with the applicant.
Yes.
The applicant originally was exploring a variance, for this because actually the original variance for the other side of the building was granted in 2001. This provision that they're, asking to utilize tonight was put in place in 2002. Even though at that time it still would have been closer, so they probably would have still have gone to a variance. However, since they were looking to go through a variance now, we do have this provision. Again, this is something that's throughout the town center village overlay district. When I read the design guidelines, the design guidelines that are part of that do talk about reducing the front yard setbacks in the town center village overlay district. And that's really why I can see, like, looking back into when that study was done, when the design guidelines were done, this was adopted as a provision that enabled that recommendation. Staff has reviewed the building design, because again, this is in the overlay district. So as part of the process, staff reports to you. I will report to you that this is in compliance with the design guidelines. There was nothing specifically that did address this. However, it does fit with the existing vernacular of the building. They are planning to do a brick face that'll match the existing. It won't really stick out like a sore thumb on that corner. And it does give them the opportunity to do more landscaping and to do that patio that they're looking for in the future in the front. So as of right now, they have not gotten to the level of designing that patio. Again, they have a brick program that they've been working with donations, and there will probably be additional fundraising required to actually build that out, because we know concrete has not gotten cheaper and everything has not gotten cheaper. So just for them getting this in place right now. So again, I find that the building design does meet the overlay district requirements, and that they are eligible to utilize that special provision, again, that allows for the commission. It's commission action that's required to reduce that front yard setback from 25 to 15 feet. This will also enable them to make any other little modifications to the front that they need to without having to ask for a variance or coming back to the commission. Again, we're looking at a reduction of that front yard setback. So that's what they're in front of you for tonight. We do have some recommended conditions. Again, that's an as-built to be done afterwards, and also that within the next 6 months, and again, you can have a discussion, the applicant can report to that, but relative in the next 6 months, that they come forward with a plan, and staff is asking that the commission be able, that this could be administratively approved. So this will be for a patio and for enhanced landscaping in the front is what staff is asking for, the ability to work with the applicant and make it so we can kind of get that final design out. They can submit a plan and it'll be able to be approved through my office, of course, with a review of the town engineer as well. Me and the town engineer review pretty much every application in tandem. So that's the application that's in front of you tonight. And I would ask for, and it's on your motion sheets, that 2 separate motions be utilized. Again, a motion for that provision for the reduction of the front yard setback, and then approval of the plan itself for the construction of this ADA accessible lobby with lift, with that provision for staff to be able to review the landscaping and the patio in front of it in the future.
And up on the screen, it's just a rough draft that Mr. Stam kind of came up with this future patio and planter stuff, and
Yep.
he'll get that formalized by Bon Giovanni, and it'll come in on a site plan.
Yeah, so the plan right now, and the applicant can add any more information, is to kind of finish off the sidewalk and connect them, because right now they connect right in front of the existing lift. To install that lift out, it will disconnect that sidewalk. They plan on just putting in a sidewalk section right now that continues the accessibility through the site, and then they'll work on the future design. But they're really associated with this. We're just looking at the lift building itself, and then that small section of sidewalk. Again, if this was in a different area of town, this likely would be administrative, but because they're utilizing that provision has to be approved by the commission. Staff is not empowered to reduce the front yard setback.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? Hearing none. Can we open this up to the public for discussion?
Nope, it's just a site plan mod and that provision.
All right. I'd like to have a motion for the application plan and construction to be reviewed with the staff. You want to?
So it should be on your motion sheet, so I'd recommend that if the commission is good with questions for the applicant. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Make a motion to move this whole business.
So Commissioner Minor, please excuse me. What we have done is the items that are under new business that don't require hearing can be just taken care of right under new business. Yep.
One check. All right. Yeah, you want to make that motion, Chris?
Sure.
Okay.
Take the motion to approve the application 2411 with conditions.
Okay. You want to read the conditions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Read the conditions.
I was doing more.
Yeah, so
Sorry, one other thing.
1 and 2.
Yes. So it would be the first, again, they're kind of in the order of that. The first is the motion for the reduction of the front yard setback. And then the second is the motion for the approval of the application, because
Okay.
that can't be approved without the setback reduction.
You want to do the first one, Chair?
Okay, a petition TPZ 24-11 site plan modification at 80 Walsh Avenue for the construction of an ADA accessible lobby with accessible lift, with a request for commission approval of the utilization of Town Center Village Overlay District Special Provision, Section 3.12.A.5A, to reduce the front yard, or just want me to read down here?
Yeah.
Just skip right down there? Okay.
Right
Motion,
down to motion 1, right?
I thought it was just.
So it'll be, the first one is that motion to approve. There's
To
two different
approve,
motions.
to- okay. So skipping ahead, move to approve reduced front yard setback. Motion to approve the reduction of the front yard setback from 25 feet to 15 feet at 80 Walsh Avenue pursuant to Town Center Overlay Zone Special Provision 3-12.A.5A.
Second from Fox.
Second by Mike Fox. Any other, or all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good. Now.
Now the next
one.
Part two.
Sorry,
And then we'll motion the second motion.
you want to do the second?
Makes no work.
Good.
Okay, move to approve with conditions. Move to approve the site plan modification at 80 Walsh Avenue with the following conditions. 1, the applicant shall submit an as-built upon completion of the work. 2, within 6 months of this work being completed, the applicant shall provide an updated site plan that shows additional landscaping and other improvements at the property. The plan will be reviewed and approved by the town planner.
And you want to add engineer too, or no?
I think it's
Okay.
fine.
That's fine.
Reason for approval, this application meets the requirements of the zoning regulations in the Town Center Village Overlay District.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second it.
All right.
Hoffman?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the commission as well as Paul and Eric for putting this whole thing together. Thanks for your guys' help. Without you, we wouldn't have figured this out.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next is old business, I believe, right, Paul?
Yes.
Under old business, Jay, you want to read?
Yep, flip it over.
Yeah.
So motion for old business, petition 24-9. Special permit, section 3.4.4 for a home occupation as a personal trainer at 303 Walsh Avenue in the R12 zone, residential zone. Owners, William Ratcliffe and Danielle Lashinsky. Applicant, contact Danielle Lashinsky.
Bless you, whoever that was.
Motion to approve with conditions. Move to approve the application for a special permit for a home occupation as a personal trainer at 303 Walsh Avenue with the following condition. Approval is valid for 1 year, making it 3.
That's up to you guys.
Three.
Yeah,
I think we,
Three's a-
3 years.
Three's acceptable?
3
Okay.
years, yeah.
Approval is valid for 3 years and is subject to the renewal requirements of section 3.4.4E of the NZR. Staff note and any other conditions, which there aren't any. Okay.
There a second?
No second
All
now.
right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Good luck. Okay. All right, next is, any petitions for scheduling, Mr. Planner?
Other than the one that I noted, earlier, again, that we're reviewing, and I can just remind the commission, and I know there will be community interest in it, of course. It's that special permit for a place of assembly for recreation for an indoor trampoline park at 175 Lowry Place. So again, that's the former supermarket at S Market.
Okay, thank you. That current land use, is that under your report also, or?
Yep, no, that's just up there. We need to update it
Okay.
and I'll inform the commission what I'm looking to do. Again, we've been moving, and I've noted it in the past. We've been moving towards the online permitting system and working out all the kinks. The goal for the future under this current land use applications would be to actually link to our permitting software. So under that current land use applications, right now, staff, front office staff has to basically do the same thing 3-4 times. Put this here, put that there, and it does create a lot of extra work. My goal would be to link that online application in those current land use ones. So as soon as the document is uploaded, it's available for the public to see. So that's where I'm going with that in the future. That's just an update. We are moving towards that. We have the system mainly up and running, and we're planning on doing tests with contractors soon.
Thank you, Mr. Planner. Any communications?
So the other thing I have is under the town planner report.
Okay.
So there's, what I have here, I did a little drive down Payne Road, just to update the commission and update the public on what's going on, down there. So 227 to 231. I talked to the super today and they are looking at a late July, early August, potential opening for those apartments. And I have a couple pictures to show you. You can see the asphalt's all in place, the parking lot's striped, landscaping is mostly all installed, and they were working on that today. This is just in the interior courtyard. There are two mirror images of this across from each other, the two buildings. And what they're working on right now is in front of the building on that corner. That was the area that was approved as the activity space. So that's where they have their outdoor grills, they have their seating, they have all of that in there, and that is currently under construction. So just to update, that is moving along, and we expect something at the end of next month or the beginning of August for them to be looking for COs for those units. The next project is the swim school at 93 Payne Road. So this is actually a swim school in the front of it. So this was approved for a place of recreation. for the swim school itself. The actual front of it is planned to be pickleball courts. And I have another, on the next picture, you can see the interior space that they're planning on using of the pickleball courts. Again, that's swim school in the back. This is in the front. And then I have another picture of just the inside, they're finishing it up. They're doing the drywall or the gypsum board, actually, in this case. But you can see the pools in place. I think I showed an earlier photo of that during an earlier update. You can see the progress that's being made on that site. And then the next site, this is actually the side. So what I wanted to bring to the commission's attention to, they're actually planning, there needs to be final grading done in this area, but they have come up with a revision to their landscaping plan. The company that they're utilizing, it's Al's Landscaping. It's a local landscaping company. They actually recommended putting a buffer between the property, this and the next door of arborvitaes. That wasn't on the site plan. However, typically stuff comes back to the commission when it's a removal of plantings from the site plan, not an addition. This is just to bring it to your attention. If there are any issues that you see with that kind of arborvitaes being put on this property between the two, I do not see any. But if you want to, please let me know. And I'm just letting the commission know that they are revising that. And they're revising the plantings in the rear of the property. There were actually a lot of tall evergreens that wouldn't necessarily do well in the wet conditions. And those are being revised to more environmentally suited plantings, native plantings, willows, high bush blueberry, and a couple other different species back there that are kind of changed around. So that's just an FYI for the commission. It'll look a little different than the plan. However, there's no reduction in overall plantings and there's actually an increase in plantings.
Thank you.
And then the next property, just to keep you in mind, there's only two of this one. This is right next door at 67 Payne Road. This is the Sunbelt Rentals. If you've been down there recently, you notice they had all the sides torn off of it. They have it blocked in now. They're doing fit and finish. No, actually they're constructing the building. They're nowhere near fit and finish. But they have that. And then the next picture is just to show you the rear of the building, the loading docks, or the bays that they'll be driving equipment into. And again, the site is under construction. I'll be talking to them about getting, tracking pads and everything installed. And then that's the last for the update of that. And I do plan on going out to Rock Hole subdivision and to over on Culver for those apartments to inspect those next week. And I'll have some pictures for you at the next meeting.
Okay.
So the next item I have, and this is just a discussion for the commission. We're having, inquiries about solar installation, about battery energy storage solutions. And the one item I wanted to bring up again is the charging infrastructure for new construction, Public Act 2225. That was discussed previously last year at the TPZ. Again, this is something that, we should put in the regulations regarding that 10% requirement. It is part of that Public Act. It does say the municipality shall. We do it on a staff level right now. However, it should be in the zoning regulations and clear to developers when they come in that, yes, this is a requirement by the legislature that this 10% be put in, and I'll be coming forward with that draft for you, hopefully next week for your comments. Next meeting, 2 weeks for your comments. And I wanted to give you an idea.
Is it may or shall?
Shall.
It is shall.
It is shall. And the one item, so solar installation, there was a previous discussion in 2001, or 2021, sorry, in front of the TPZ regarding a determination on Richard Street. And it was determined that that ground mount solar array was accessory to the industrial use. Now we have more people who are looking at possible coming into town and doing solar arrays, typically industrial properties. And again, this is just a reminder, a refresher, and for discussion too, on whether the commission sees that there is is there a need for regulations? Or B, are you okay with it still being considered accessory to an industrial site? And then we'll just deal with it as a site plan modification, looking at any screening at that point. But right now, and it was noted previously that it's not in our regulations. Our regulations are silent when it comes to ground mount solar installations. Again, it has been approved. It was approved in 2021 for 275 Richard Street as a site plan modification. So that's the one item. If there's any questions from the commission, please let me know. I can provide something at the next meeting. I can provide you pictures of the Richard Street. I think we can all see it, but I can give you a little more update on what these look like. I think everyone kind of knows generally what solar fields look like when they're going in nowadays. They've been around for a while.
Ground mount canopies are going up all over the place, and it makes sense because
Yeah.
it eliminates the need for snow removal from those parking areas. They're using them as covered canopies, which allows for it, and they're getting the benefit of the solar arrays on top of the canopies. So I know that we're seeing those more and more. I think we should have some definitive.
Plus the fact, I believe that you're not taking any more, it's already impervious as is with pavement. So you're not gonna take any of the water, capability of water being percolated through, so.
Yeah, and I would add that I do prefer the canopies when it comes to it for those exact reasons. You're not creating any more impervious surface than you have. You're actually getting an environmental benefit from the impervious surface you already had. And it provides the benefit if they have trucks to park underneath it. Hey, it keeps them free of snow, it keeps them free of ice. It keeps them a little better maintained overall. So that's one item. The other item that's also coming up, and this is emergent, it's been around for a few years, more across Europe and Australia. You've seen these large battery energy solution put in. They're moving into Connecticut. There have been a bunch of approvals recently, and we've seen some in Massachusetts as well. So what I have is the battery energy storage solutions. So they can be large, as a very large installation that takes up an entire property, or they can also be quite small. This is pretty much the smallest one you would see on a site. And then I just have a series of 3 as they get progressively larger. That's another one that you may see. And then progressively larger, and it just scales from there. So we have had interest regarding this installation, if it is permitted in town. Right now, staff on a small scale, I would view it similar to any other utility generator, anything that's on a site. If it was an entire site that was devoted to it, that's a site plan and a utility installation. Now, when they're smaller, they're really more accessory to the site. Something to discuss with the commission. Again, where they should be located. Should they be located on the side or to the rear? Do you want these in the front of the property? Again, this is newer to Newington and newer to the area, but I think we're going to be seeing more requests for this because what they really do is they have the opportunity. And actually what I'm surprised about is most of the time they're not actually with solar installations. They're standalone at properties to draw from the grid overnight at off-peak times, and then to release back on the grid, but they'll also be connected to the building they're associated with, and they'll provide the backup power. So they take the place of a generator for the building, and then they also feed energy back to the grid during high demand times to help stabilize and not have to build out more energy infrastructure. So I think they're overall a good thing. I have been discussing with the fire marshal, and the fire marshal discussed with the state fire marshal regarding how the regulations work for these, because again, they're newer. There was even one, I think that I forgot the name of the city, unfortunately, but there's one that was actually recently installed inside a firehouse. So that was an interesting installation that I read there. So again, this is newer. People have Tesla power walls inside their houses. So more and more battery technology is coming out, and this is something that I think more businesses are looking to do because it not only gives them a chance to make a little money on the side from feeding power back to the grid at peak times, but it gives them a backup without having to have a generator and fuel storage and worrying about that. So again, this is something that if you haven't.
Did you get any response from the fire marshals or state fire marshal's office in terms of what they're looking at? Because I know within the fire service, there is some grave concerns with the larger ones, not necessarily the smaller ones, but the larger ones, is that when thermal runaway begins in that type of an installation, you can't stop it, and it's just going to go. And there are some unknowns that, again, they are so new. They've been in the UK, that side of the pond, for quite a while now, but we're still adapting on how to deal with them on a, case by case basis of the large scale, because there are some large scale banks that I know have gone up recently in state. So I know, like you said, that is something that new developers are looking at as a component construction.
Yep, and so the fire marshal has been looking into, again, what his jurisdiction is regarding, because that's the first question. You know, what code does this actually fall under, and is it even in that, you know, it's under the building code, you'll have certain aspects of it. But is this something that the commission would want to see a regulation about, or is this something that you're okay with, again, kind of within these parameters that they're accessory uses to the building, more like a generator that we allow now. However, I personally would like to see them on the side or to the rear of the building, not necessarily at the front at the street line, but utilities get installed by the street line anyway. You have transformers, you have large banks of that. So that's kind of the question I have for the commission of what are your concerns and where would you like to see this go in the future? Because I expect to get an application in the near future.
Do we have other towns around that have any of these that could be visited? Or at least get information on how they accepted it?
Yep. So not, what I can do is, and this is why I brought it up for that research for the next meeting. So I will look at those ones that have gone through approvals, because and someone who was talking to me about did noted that there have been recent approvals. Again, they haven't been constructed yet, the small scale within the state, but there have been recent approvals. And again, it's been everything from a site plan modification to staff sign off for most communities that were discussed. So I'll put that together. And again, I plan to have a report for you at the next meeting. This is just to start the conversation and to figure out what type of information you need. So I'll make sure that that is provided at the next meeting.
The other question I was going to have is I couldn't hear what Commissioner Minor was saying down this end, but with a bank such as this, or in any variation of it, would that cause the fire department to have to get any special equipment in order to fight a fire on something like this?
There's no current way for us to fight it. It's to make sure we protect the
Around,
surroundings of it and to let it.
let it go on its own.
Through the process. You can put copious amounts of water on it, but you're essentially not extinguishing the fire. All you're doing is cooling it.
Right.
You're not putting it out.
Yeah.
So you just have to kind of sit and wait.
So they wouldn't recommend any kind of foam or anything like that to do it?
There's been process and discussion of it, but at this point, there is no, especially in a large setting like that, no. No,
Yeah.
so let it go.
That could be a real issue.
Yep. And some of the companies.
Setting, but I know they're selling residential units like this.
Yep, and I'll add, Mr. Chairman, if I may, that there are some of the companies out there that actually do provide training to local fire departments when they come in, because it is, again, it's newer. So that's something we'll work with whoever comes in with an application. Again, I was just trying to get again, we can talk about it more at the next meeting as well, get some more information about how it's been approved elsewhere, if there are any regulations for it, and if there's any other questions you would like me to look into, I can definitely look into it.
Any other commissioners? I'm sorry, Al, do you have some? Oh, okay. The University of Harvard has put in a huge fuel cell up there. It's going in, and I believe it's gonna be run with natural gas. So you might want to look at that too. And if you're gonna do this regulation, you might want to think about doing something for the natural gas one too. I'm not saying it will go in or won't go in, but at least have it in there.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be a huge pipe put in there, and I believe it's gotta go underneath the North Branch of the Park River, the railroad, come back up, and I believe because of the floodplain it's in, I think it's gotta be 6 feet or 5 feet above where the ground level right now, because that parking lot does flood.
Yep.
It's only a thought.
Yeah, so fuel cells are interesting too, because most of them end up falling under the siting council because they're a generation facility. These are not generators, they're storage facilities. So they fall in that interesting area where you end up with local regulation. It's the difference between a cell tower that falls under them versus a cellular installation on a building, which falls under us. So there's always these little areas of distinction, but no, I can definitely look into that. And the one reason I can say too, why these are going to become more prevalent is the Connecticut Green Bank does have attractive financing, and they are pushing green solutions, alternative energy solutions, including this battery energy storage solution. So that's why we're going to be likely to see these more in the near future.
Right. Any other questions? Okay. Is that your report, Mr.
End of my report.
Okay.
Unless there's
Any
any questions.
communications?
I believe there are none.
Okay. We're going to go to public participation. Anybody wish to speak? Public participation is the second round.
No one is online, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. Anybody here? No, okay. Remarks by commissioners?
Just one quick one.
Yes.
Paul, procedurally, since I botched it before, is this the way moving forward, we're gonna handle non-public hearings to just take it that way?
Yes.
Decision, okay, just for point of clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why you label it, as new business,
Yeah,
motions for
yeah.
new business, meeting under new business. If we have 2 or 3 applications, you should just be able to
Just slide it right across.
I have no closing remarks other than thank everybody for showing up tonight. I really do appreciate it. It's a nice night out there. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
Second,
That's it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.